All right, so in this video, we're going to be looking at proportions, just as kind of a quick vocab. That word proportions might seem a little different or unusual for some of you guys if you haven't heard that term before. But a proportion is just two ratios that equal to one another. So an example of one ratio would be 1/2 or 1/2. So we could set that equal to a lot of things. For example, we could set that equal to 4/8. Those are equivalent fractions. That's one way to think of proportions. So it's just two ratios that are equal to one another. So that's what we've got going on up here, and we're going to solve for x. So what we're going to do, the strategy is going to be to cross multiply. And what cross multiplying does is it takes these fractions and turns them into a linear equation, which is something we're a little more familiar with solving. So in order to cross multiply, you just start with one diagonal. It doesn't matter which diagonal you start with, but you're going to start with the diagonal, so 9 times 10 equals, and then you're going to do the diagonal the other direction, 6 times x. So again, if you notice when I circled those two numbers, I multiply them together. So 9 times 10 are in the same kind of diagonal circle there, and then on the other side I've got 6 times x. So 9 times 10 is 90, and 6 times x is just 6x. So now you have a really simple equation right here that you should be pretty comfortable with solving. So all I need to do is divide both sides by 6, that coefficient there, and that's going to leave me with 15 equals x, which is my answer there. So again, cross multiplying, we did that so we could get it to look like an equation that we're a little more familiar with solving. Same thing with b. So again, it doesn't matter which direction you start. So if I start this direction this time, again, that's m minus 8, and I'm multiplying it by 8. I'm taking those two terms and multiplying them together, and I'm setting it equal to that opposite direction, 4 times 2. The only thing we have to be careful with here is that this 8 is being multiplied by the entire expression m minus 8. So this is going to require some distribution here. So 8 times m is 8m, and then 8 times 8 is 64. Notice it's minus 64 because that's a positive 8, and on the inside there we've got that minus 8 there. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So the next step is to add 64 to both sides. So when I add 64 to both sides, that's going to cancel, and I get 8m equals 72. And then I can divide both sides by 8 to leave me with m equals 9. So when we have that kind of expression here, instead of just the variable like we had in a, it does require kind of a second step. So once we've cross multiplied, we do have to distribute. Please don't forget to do that. And then it turns it into a two-step equation instead of a one-step equation.